Well, it's time now to review headlines on today's newspapers with the Ombudsman of This Day and Arise Media Group and This Day Newspaper Limited Group Executive Director, Kayode Komolafe. Good morning, Mr. Komolafe. Happy Sunday to you.
Good morning, Oji. Welcome back.
Thank you. I missed you last week,
Good
but
morning,
I'm
Steve.
here now, and
Good
then
morning.
you are in Abuja. So I guess it's tit for tat.
And
now.
you're welcome.
Thank
Good
you.
morning, KK.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
And we have Sheita joining us today.
Good morning,
this
Steve.
morning.
Good morning, KK.
Good morning.
All right.
Good morning, Sheita.
All right,
how
thank
are
you.
Today?
Yeah. Thank you, KK. So we go straight into it. We'll start with This Day on Sunday, where the lead story says Fintiri maintains lead as INEC suspends collation of Adamawa's governorship election results. APC wins more National Assembly seats in Plateau, Oyo, Kano, Yobe. 6 feared killed as violence mass elections in Akwa Ibom, Kebbi, Kano. EFCC arrests 12 in Kano, Katsina for vote buying. On top of that lead story, there's a story here that says PDP lawmakers rally opposition senators-elect for Senate presidency. Favor Southeast, North Central for Senate president, deputy. PDP House leader says joint task coalition won't weaken opposition. That's a story that continues from the cover to the page 5 of today's This Day. And on top of that is a strip story. Nigeria's inflation hits 22.04% as food prices rise. And on the window, Nigeria's economic direction, debt sustainability depend on incoming government's policies, says IMF. Okonjo-Iweala calls for diversification of global supply chains. And last but not the least, KK, is the cover story, which I think it is important. Welcome to Gateway State, it says, and it shows the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, welcoming the renowned global aviation investor, Mr. Adamawa to the Gateway Agro Cargo International Airport in Ilishan-Ikperu Road in Ikene local government area of the state over the weekend. Mr. Ogunlesi, as you know, KK, is credited with a number of the airports in the UK, especially the Gatwick Airport, which he co-owns. And having him join the governor of Ogun State in this project is a major one. Your analysis, KK, today's This Day newspaper.
I agree with you, Steve. The front page photo of This Day is quite significant, that you're having an aviation giant, coming home now, and to discuss aviation business with his Governor Dapo Abiodun. Is hope that the cooperation, will yield, good results for Ogun State people. Now, the front page story, the lead story of This Day on Sunday, the story is virtually in all the front pages of newspapers today. That is the supplementary elections that took place. Yesterday, in some states, in some constituencies, around the country. I think, but first, on a positive note, that INEC, substantially, so to say, was able to deliver, to ensure that the elections, which were unfortunately, regrettably postponed when the general elections, took place some weeks ago, that they were held, at last. And now we're expecting the result. But on a very sad note, it's again, quite unfortunate, that in some places, you had, electoral violence, disruptions, a number of people killed, like in Akwa Ibom, Kano, and some other places, That means that the recurring story, of electoral violence, is still with us, despite, the corrective measures, that we will expect must have been put in place. Now again, let us emphasize that when you have electoral violence, actually you cannot blame that on INEC. You know, I think we should just, you know, try to reduce our expectation of INEC, that we expect INEC to deliver, you know, in terms of ensuring that the logistics for the election, you know, the rules, you know, are followed, and the voters, you know, are able to cast their ballot, you know, as laid down, you know, in the rules. You know. But as for the atmosphere, you know, of election, the environment of election, I think that is the job. I mean, that is really a security question. If that fails, then you will be talking of a security failure, you know, and not necessarily the failure, or, you know, of the electoral process, you know, in the primary sense, you know, of it. Now, it's also good to note that following the last election, that both INEC and the law enforcement agencies, especially EFCC and others, have actually, you know, arrested, you know, some people, and they are already in the process of prosecution. I think it's also in the news that INEC and you know, the law enforcement agencies, you know, are already lining up lawyers that will ensure this prosecution, which is the point that has been made, that the only way, you know, to curb electoral violence is to make sure that there is consequence, you know, when people break the law, you know, when people commit crime, because it's actually crime, you know, killings, you know, disrupting the election, you know, snatching ballot boxes and the rest of them. These are crimes. These are not just political acts, you know, that should just be, which those who are responsible should be punished. Now that the process, you know, of actually punishing them, you know, is in place, you know, we can count that as a positive thing, you know, in this season. But then that is not yet the solution. The solution will be that the process of setting up the Electoral Offences Commission, you know, as suggested in the Ways Commission many years ago, which fortunately, you know, has now received attention during the tenure, you know, of this administration, you know. But unfortunately, it's not clear, you know, whether the process will be concluded before the President Buhari exits office in 40-something days from now, because the bill is still in the House of Representatives, you know, to have the concurrence. So it is when you have the Electoral Offences, you know, Commission in place, then that commission then can then set up tribunal, so that you will have a very definitive, you know, and specialized way of dealing, you know, with that problem, so as to sanitize the electoral process.
Okay.
The other observation to make too is that all
right, Mr. Komolafe, yes, we don't have much time on this segment. I don't know if you want to wrap up your thoughts really quickly, so
before
we can
go to this day style.
This day style.
Okay, just to mention the fact that it's also a positive thing that the EFCC, you know, like is also in the news, you know, already are prosecuting some people for vote buying. Right. So I mean, what I'm saying is that, you know, the story before now has been that, oh no, the system is helpless, you know, nothing could be done about it. That already something is being done about vote buying. You may say it is still maybe tokenist, you know, given the extent, you know, of the crime that must have been committed. But at least it's a good way to begin. Yeah.
All right, Mr. All right.
So we can go to this style.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. And the person on the cover of this day's style is Gbadebo Rose Vival. Gbadebo, oh gentle.
Gbadebo, oh calm.
Gbadebo, oh calm. It's always so nice, so refreshing to see a man on the cover of this day's style. There it says, Gbadebo Rose Vival, the future of Nigerian politics. As we know him, he was the Lagos gubernatorial candidate for the Labour Party in the just concluded elections. He came in second place in the race with over 300,000 votes. But Rose Vival has a strong conviction that he won the race, and he has sought legal action to take back his mandate. Well, he had an interview with Funke Babs Kufeji, my girl. I love Funke. I mean, they're doing amazing.
Amazing stuff.
You know, the young politician speaks on his dual background, political journey, tribal conflicts, and many other issues in this edition of This Day's Style. Another thing I'd like for our viewers to take note of is the This Day Style website. It's thisdaystyle.ng. I guess you can also read excerpts of that interview on that website. Again, well done to Konya.
Yeah, well done to the
team.
This Day Style team. Yeah. And before we bring KK in to comment, and I'm sure Shaitan would like to say something too, I think this is an important focus, for the young man Gbadebo Rose Vival.
Yes.
At 40, he has not done badly at all. A lot of people think that it just happened on the Lagos politics, but no, he had been with COA party before, and then 4 years ago, he was the senatorial candidate of the PDP for the largest local government area in Nigeria, the Lagos senatorial district, the Lagos West, where he lost just by the whiskers to Olamilekan Yayi in that election. So it's not a green on at all. And from what he has been able to do as the candidate of the Labour Party, particularly in the last 2, 3, 4 weeks leading to that election, you know that we will still hear a lot more about this Gbadebo that is calm, that is gentle, and that is just okay. Shaitan, what do you think about it?
You and yourself and Oji have basically said it all. He's doing amazing things, and now just being on the cover of This Day Style, I think, is a stamp of approval, of course, from all of us here at Arise and, of course, at This Day.
Mr. Komolafe, really quickly, your thoughts, so we could just look at 2 other papers, the headlines on 2 other papers really quickly. We have about a minute.
Yeah, of course, I join you in giving kudos to the style team, for a very good, fine production, and also the topicality of the cover. And also to remark that, that quite a number of men have actually appeared on the cover of This Day Style. Yeah.
All right, so we'll quickly look at The Guardian and The Punch, just their lead stories.
Yes.
Shaitan, what do we have on there?
All right, then on The Guardian, our lead story there reads, keep your $800 million subsidy palliative, Nigerians tell Buhari. Avoid recycled political jobbers in your government.
Okay. That's cool. That's a big one there. That's what many people are saying, that $800,000 that will come to about
$800
million that will come to about 50,000 naira per person out of the 50 million people. If that's the best that you can do, they say keep your dough. The Punch, Sunday Punch.
Well, on the Sunday Punch, lead story, supplementary elections. 4 killed, houses razed, thugs disrupt polls in Rivers, Anambra and others. The riders there, 3 killed in Kano for disrupting poll. Soldiers shoot Kebbi ballot snatcher dead. We talked to Gbenga about that earlier. APC, PDP, NNPP await INEC declaration on Adamawa, Kebbi, and others, right?
Okay, and Sunday Tribune says on the window, prices of food, fuel, electricity, gas, others push inflation to 22.04%, which we also saw in This Day. And then Banana Island collapse building, adjoining buildings face risk of demolition. KK, your last comments on all the key headlines in some of today's newspapers, please. Just 1 minute.
Yeah, just to say that, well, all the issues raised, the socioeconomic issues about how to deal with subsidy removal, cost of living, inflation, and the rest, that they are, of course, more or less, stating what the job of the incoming administration should be. But as an incurable optimist, I like to stress that even in the few days that will still, in the days that we still have, which is still over more than 40 days, that a lot could still be done, by the present administration, to address some of those issues, especially the socioeconomic ones, and really issues touching, touching on the condition, of Nigerians, the material condition of Nigerians. That a lot could still be done in terms of, policy, not just policy articulation, but also policy implementation. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, KK. Thank you so much, and do enjoy your stay over there in Abuja. Thank you. Thank you indeed.
Mr. Komolafe. See you next week.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thank you for watching and do stay safe. I'm Steve Ayorinde.
And I'm Sheito Antigari.
And I'm Oji Okpe. From our entire team here in Lagos, Nigeria. Enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day. Goodbye.